88.9 WERS.
88.9 WERS. My name is Nina, and we're here live at the Paradise with Stephen Malkmus and the Jicks. How are you?
You first.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. A rental car at Logan. It was really a smooth transaction. We had a bad rental car.
What was the rental car experience?
The driver's seat didn't recline. The light was off on the license plate.
Yeah, we also had a license plate from Colorado, which is not good to have anymore. They pull you over.
Yeah, didn't they legalize marijuana there?
Yeah. So first off, I need to ask, what is a Jick? What are Jicks? Where does that name come from?
I'm a Jick.
You're a Jick.
I was just trying to think of a name for a backing band, and it just came out of imagination. Me and my friend kind of spending too much time in a practice room, and I just thought of a name to name them. You know, it's kind of like tough backing band. They got their own attitude. They don't really even like me, you know. They're forced to kind of play. They'll back any. I mean, they could play with Chuck Berry. They could play with Trent Reznor. They don't care.
Yeah. Easily take that title.
Yeah.
I guess is the same true then for the name of the new album?
That's also kind of, it's a little like Jick's in a way. You're right. It's just sort of a de-evolution of your brain.
So, do you think being a parent helps with that? Just like keeping your
yeah.
imagination running?
Yeah, I mean, I think we encourage our musicians to be very juvenile or, childlike,
Yeah.
It's sort of like a perpetual, just being real young, and I think when you're so young, that's so young. Children are just beyond young, beyond what you can imagine.
Do you have any, well, I guess I'm not sure, are you guys parents as well or no?
No.
No. Just pets.
And wives.
Yeah.
So I guess, does being a parent change the way you approach music in general too then?
Not too much. I mean, not really music per se.
He has to leave practice early to go pick up the kids from school sometimes, so.
Logistically, that's it.
Yeah, but I don't really get into, I like the Del Fuegos and Dan Zane, but I don't aspire to like Boston child rock now that I still like the same stuff I always liked.
Yeah, awesome. And are they aware of the fact that like you're kind of like a bigger musician, or are they just under the impression that like my father plays music, but
they went on the Pavement tour to some of those bigger shows, and they've come to our sound checks. They probably think it's really even bigger than it is. I've heard them call me a rock star, and like that's not really true. And indie rock star, I tell them.
That's funny. And then, so I think it was like a couple of days ago now, but Crooked Rain just turned 20, which begs the question if Pavement are going to do anything with that. Is there a tour that would happen or no?
I think Jake should answer that one.
Yes. Okay.
No, we're not going to do any tours.
Yeah.
In the foreseeable future. We got this going on, and we're a good band. And
yeah, which is definitely
that takes a lot of time, just one album, one tour. That would really require being on the road all the time, which is, it's hard. It's fun, but you want to do it in bursts, not like as a way of life. Unless you're Bob Dylan or something, you can cruise around in a really nice bus. But we just cruise around in really nice minivans.
I was going to say, you have a nice minivan.
Yeah.
Have you been driving one the whole time or no?
What do you mean?
Like, do you swap out cars everywhere you go and get a new one?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Each tour, we get a new one. It's one of those really exciting things. Is it going to be a Dodge or could we even get a Sienna maybe?
Yeah. And when I was looking up numbers, I guess I didn't realize, because I was looking up the Crooked Rain thing, and I hadn't realized that you guys have officially been a band longer than Pavement, which is crazy to think that it's already gone by that fast.
That's true.
Yeah.
Really old.
Steve and I were actually talking about how the 60s, you think about the gap between like 65 and 75 or 65 and 85, and then you think about just 2004, 2014 seems like nothing happened really, but like in that same span of time, it's I don't know.
It's like there are a lot of really small, like there are a bunch of like mini genres that started popping up and stuff, but no huge movement that like.
No, you don't. You're not. Yeah, because you think the difference between 65 and 75, everything happened then. Nothing happened. Nothing has happened.
In guitar music. Yeah. Maybe.
That's the point of all this.
Yeah. There's electronic music and stuff, but we're not like aficionados, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, looking back earlier in the decade, on this tour, you guys have been covering Beck, right?
We did it
Once. Okay.
We got a lot of media attention
Yeah.
for
Because I was gonna say there are a lot of people talking about it. So, how did you choose that song? Was it just like
that.
the
Got
day
3
of?
chords and I don't know. We just picked it up in Cologne, Germany. I just started because Beck's grandpa is a Flexus artist from Cologne. He's American, but he lived there. So I was like, let's throw this out there. It's 3 chords. We didn't even do the chorus. And then when we were in Chicago, kind of desperately, we have a question mark at the end of our sound checks, and like sometimes that question mark starts to get a frown of desperation. And then I was like, in the set list. And then I started playing it, and I even had to be like, Joanna, that was F sharp.
I messed up one of the 3 chords.
Yeah, because we hadn't done it. And then,
He asked me for the words, and I only know the first line, and then so I actually learned a couple more, but I don't know. Yeah.
nice guy, and
Yeah.
he's made so much good stuff in his time.
Have you guys listened to his new album?
I have.
What do you think?
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What great sounds, and the last song, he knows how to set up an album, like, and save the great song, it's a good opener and a crescendo.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you guys are playing it a lot on there. You should.
Yeah, we are.
It's not even out yet, right? Not quite yet? Or is it? Is
I
it
think it's
officially?
out.
Oh, it's out today.
Today's the release
We
day.
previewed it.
Yeah.
We have our ways.
And then, so do you guys, I guess maybe playing cover songs isn't your big thing, but just like personally for each of you, do you have a favorite cover song that you go back and listen to a lot?
Like the real thing, or a version of us covering a song?
I can take it anyway, but I meant like, is there a cover, like 2 totally separate bands, like Band A, Band B, covering one that you listen to a lot?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Oh, like when the cover is better than the original?
I like that. You know that Flying Lizard's Money?
Mm-hmm.
I want money. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I like when people, or the Devo with Satisfaction.
Yeah,
When they really change it. a lot.
Slits, Heard It Through the Grapevine. That's a good one.
There's a cover of Iron Man that the Cardigans did that sounds
I've heard that
totally...
one. Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of lounge poppy or whatever. It's cool.
Did Lola. I guess we like all post-punk bands from female singers from the England that did covers. Yeah.
And then, so Boston's obviously a very college city. There's a lot of colleges here. And a lot of students are leaving for spring break soon, which had me thinking, if you guys have any prominent or non-prominent, but memories from spring break that are fond or funny.
I never really I went to school on the East Coast. I never went down to Florida. I went to South Carolina and had a nice time, but it wasn't, Jello shots and riffraff. What about you? You guys?
I'm just perpetually on spring break, so.
Right, eternal.
Is it recommendations or memories?
memories?
I went. I
Did
mean,
you do one up?
same thing. I had a really good time. I went with like amalgamation of all these different friends at different colleges. We all met up in this farm, this really cool farmhouse in Virginia, and we just like were locked down and like shot guns and like played with horses and got bad hangovers, but like didn't endanger ourselves. Like we could do whatever we wanted, but we were locked down. That was pretty fun. I remember that. That's about it. My parents used to vacation. We used to go on family vacation to Florida because I'm from upstate New York, and sometimes we timed it with the college spring break, and it was always bad. Like we were always just like trying to get to a spot where it wasn't debaucherous, but I don't know. That's it.
There's also a lot of hospitals here too.
There are.
It's too bad that people in hospitals don't get to go on spring break.
Maybe. That's kind of a stretch, but. So I had a question about your music. I had a question about your music in that you guys write your songs when you're on the road normally, yeah? Or is it like a...
I write them at home, and then we sometimes flesh them out on the sound checks and stuff when we're not. But we played 6 straight shows. It's impossible to want to play a new song, and then you're just like, so much noise.
When you guys write it... So your lyrics, I feel like, can be simultaneously like pretty vague, where people can relate to it and like kind of claim it their own, but then at the same time there's specific details that set it apart. So is that intentional? Is it like, do you feel really like there's phrased the way they are on purpose?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I try to develop a tone which is intentional, which is some kind of really funny, not serious stuff. And then in the middle, there's some poetic lines or deep. It's all mixed up, So maybe there's a couple of silly parts, and then there's some deep parts, and I don't know. That's kind of cover all bases that way.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite line from the new album?
Line.
Whoa!
Yeah. I think mine might also be, huh!
Oh yeah.
I like that one. That's a good one.
I don't get credit for those rock things. I like.
The Houston Hades, the gun huggers, gun lovers, truck huggers.
Yeah.
Now you gotta have their babies. No. But you gotta get the no in there.
I try to be like Chrissy Hynde there. And I like in that song where he says like, everyone needs someone long enough to let them go. That's what you need them long enough until you let them go. And also there's a song called Shibboleth where he says, he says like, you're alone as someone else. I think that's kind of poetic. Like, I'm alone as someone else, because like, that's the other person. I don't know who they are, They're alone as far as I know. To be someone else is alone. So those are 2 good ones. And yeah, those and hey and yeah.
Cool.
What do you like?
From the new, I guess maybe it feels like, maybe it feels obvious, but the line about best decade ever is very fun every time to sing. Yeah.
It was made for everyone.
You used to repeat it even more, right? I feel like it got cut.
Yeah. There was 4.
What music was the best decade ever?
Now, right?
This is why the lyrics are both open and specific. I guess, I don't know. I have a big thing against the 80s, meaning I don't like it. But
When did you find you really got into music, though? The 90s?
probably
Or now, even? How old are you? In your 20s?
probably
So-
like in the early
The
2000s.
zeros.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
in the
So
zeros.
90s.
But a lot of it was through digging through like sale piles at CD
Yeah.
stores and stuff. We're just picking up stuff that looked like it would be something I'd dig. Which I guess I found a lot of good bands that way. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Just bought stuff on a whim.
Oh, all the time.
Do you
Yeah.
have like favorites you can think of?
That we found in the
Whims.
files.
I mean, Mike has been.
You used to have to do that too. Like you couldn't like go online and find out. I remember sort of hearing about I'd sort of heard about this band Screaming Trees. I heard they were cool, and I sort of heard about this band Thelonious Monster. thought maybe they would be cool too. And I remember sitting at the Peaches, staring at the two records, being like, which one do I buy? And thankfully, I bought the Screaming Trees, which I think has held its value a little more than the Thelonious Monster record. But that's, yeah, they were silly.
Yeah, I guess for you, what's the album that one or multiple that you liked finding in a pile?
Wow, they're so obscure, some of them. I found, I don't know.
You
Sorry.
used to find me records when we.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the covers. I'm trying to think if I didn't know what they were. But luckily, digital camera is not expensive film. I can't think of anything right now.
I think one that I bought solely based on the covers. Do you know Menomina? Yeah.
They're
So
from
their
Portland.
friend. Oh yeah, right. That makes sense. So their friend Info One is like really cool, and you can move all of it. And then it sounded nothing like what I was expecting. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Wait, who won? Do you remember?
There was a Grammy for packaging, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are, I know one of them at least, and he's really nice. Pretty nice guy.
And then our last question just has to do, 88.9 is a non-commercial college radio station. So I guess, how has college radio helped you guys, or growing up, did you listen to it, and what were favorite things you heard on it?
In Portland, we don't have the best.
There's no college
There's this
radio.
K-Boo thing. It's public. We had WTJU in Virginia. It was quite nice. I had a great time. And, you know, it was a community-based station. Of course, it was funded by the college a bit, but you could be a DJ when you were 50, or you didn't have to go to school there. Yeah. But it was cool.
Everybody, I mean, did you DJ? Yeah,
I grew up in Seattle, so I listened to KCMU, which has now morphed into KEXP. Like, it's a really big nationwide. It's a great station, but I heard
he likes it.
like
a fan.
Robin Hitchcock on there for the first time. And yeah, so the first thing I did when I moved to college in Portland was get a slot at the Reed radio station KRC, which had 10 watts. So it didn't go very far, but
I DJ'd in college and would DJ when I visited friends do their shows, and then I'm starting to do a show. There's a new station starting in Portland that's a nonprofit station too, to try to remedy the problem of no good college radio anymore. X-Ray FM. It's new. Its launch is today, I think, on the internet, and then next week on FM, I think, hopefully. So, yeah, keeping it alive.
Thank you guys for taking the time to step aside and talk to us. Sure. And once again, Stephen Malkmus and the Jicks, and this is 88.9 WERS.
88.9 WERS.